Hello, Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning Blaque in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV. I'm your host, Queen QueenAShakur, and this is the second morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time I go live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur. You can also follow the Queen QueenAShakur fan page, and you can find me on Twitter at DGoddess27. So let's get into it. Hello, sweet great mom, JB, Brandon, Tracy, Rhonda, C Mommy Mac, Vince I am from the UK, KX, Flow Records, Silent D is in the house, Louise, Tanya. Okay, shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. Let's get into it. Okay, got two Brandons in the house. All right, shout out to you, Rashad and Fema Bell. Rashid and Fema Bell, the real China doll. Hey, Dervis, I see you. Okay, let's get into it, people. Let's get into it. More nefariousness. So, listen to this. This is just so ridiculous. Police officer fired after body cam footage caught him tasering a 64-year-old man in a wheelchair 4 times. This was reported less than 24 hours ago. A 64-year-old man in a wheelchair tasered 4 times. Now, you already know he's black. They never do this to an elderly white man. That's what we do know. Let's not forget the time they snatched that elderly black woman out of the car by her hair, right? And then broke another elderly black woman's arm. So let's just talk about it. A police officer in Florida has been fired after tasering a 64-year-old black man in a wheelchair multiple times, according to the St. Petersburg police chief. Now, they say the incident took place in June when Officer Matthew Cavender and his partner responded to a call that Timothy Grant was trespassing at a gas station. They ran Grant's name and discovered that he had 5 active warrants when they arrived. Now, body camera footage shows the officers arresting Grant, who is sitting in a wheelchair. Footage shows them attempting to lift him and telling him to stand up. Why would you tell him to stand up if he's in a wheelchair? Like, what kind of demonic, foolish stuff is that? You're going to tell him to stand up and he's in a wheelchair? Please make it all make sense. So anyway, the chief of the St. Petersburg Police Department, Anthony Holloway, said in a press conference on Thursday that the police officers had seen Grant walking around the business and panhandling before the arrest. Oh, so that's why they told him to stand up, because they said they already saw him walking. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to show this video. Let's see what happened for ourselves. Everyone get those likes up. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'm about to share my screen. The lights up. I'm going to mute my mic for a second.
All right, dude, you got a warrant for your arrest because you fought with a law enforcement officer.
No.
And you had a court date and you never showed up.
No, I got a court date.
You had cocaine on you, you had paraphernalia on you, had marijuana on you. Yep. So you didn't go to court, so you got a warrant.
No, I had a court date.
Either stand up or I'm going to place you.
I'm standing.
Just drop that down. We'll give your bottle of water back.
Okay. Well, what court date it had?
I'm not, okay. We can talk about this.
Okay, come on.
I'm not going anybody. Stand up.
Okay, come on.
Can you stand or not?
I can't stand.
You can't stand?
What court date? Okay, come on.
You can talk to a lawyer when you're in jail.
No, jail for what? What I did?
I already told you have a warrant for your arrest.
What warrant do I have, sir?
I already told you.
What?
You fought with, you got 5 warrants.
No.
Listen. Okay.
Come on, sir. Okay, I got it. I'm gonna get up. Yeah,
if he doesn't, I'm gonna take
I'm gonna get up.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. Stand up.
Okay.
Bring your legs in.
Okay.
Bring your legs in.
Come on. Hey, okay, guys.
No,
Come on.
come on.
Stand up.
Okay. Well, I did. Stand.
Stand.
No, I can't.
You just told me you could walk.
You just
No, I
said
can't walk. Okay. Guys, first.
Stand up. Stand up.
Guys first.
Are you gonna stand
Hey,
up?
bro. Yeah, I ain't really. Hey, bro. Call my mama. I ain't doing nothing wrong. I ain't resisting. I ain't resisting. I ain't
Okay,
resisting.
go down to the ground then.
Okay.
If you can't stand up, go to the ground.
What I did, what I did.
Go to the ground.
What I did, though. What my wrist?
Oh, you're walking.
What?
That's fine.
Yeah. What I did wrong.
Come on.
Are you gonna walk or not?
Yeah, I'm walking. What I did wrong, though. What
I told you you have a warrant for your arrest.
What for my foot?
All right,
What I did.
Stop.
What I did.
Stop.
You
You have a warrant for your arrest.
For what?
Stop resisting,
For what?
or you're gonna get tased.
I asked you a question.
I already told you you have a warrant for your arrest.
What
You're
arrest
making
for
this
what?
a lot harder.
Arrest for what?
You're about to get
Arrest for what?
tased.
Arrest for what?
Stop. You're gonna get
I did
tased.
nothing wrong. I did nothing
You have
wrong.
a warrant for your arrest.
I want from arrest. Arrest for what?
Hold on a second.
Arrest for what? I want for what? Call the cab. Arrest. I don't have no warrant. I ain't did nothing wrong. I got no warrant. I don't have no warrant. Yes, ma'am. I ain't got no problem. I ain't over here. I ain't bucking, man.
All right, stand up.
Go ahead.
Put your hands behind your back.
Put
Put your hands behind your
What
back.
I did wrong?
Put your hands behind your back.
Yes, sir. What I did? Y'all kidding me. What y'all
You're gonna get tased. Put your hands behind your back. You're gonna get tased. Stop.
What I did, though? What I did?
Get your hands behind your back.
Please, can I talk? Can we talk, please? Can we talk? Can I talk? Can you call my mama? Call my mama, please.
Stop.
Yeah, what I did?
Stop.
I ain't resisting, sir.
Stop.
I ain't
Yes, you
resisting.
are. Put your hand behind your back.
Okay, what's going on, though? Oh!
Put your hand behind your back.
Okay.
Put it behind your back.
Okay, what? Please, I ain't did nothing wrong. I ain't did nothing wrong.
Put your hand behind your back.
Where I go? Okay, I'll put my hand behind my back.
Do it then.
Put your hand behind your back.
What I do, baby? What I do? I'm not resisting. Please. Okay, I'm not resisting.
That was hard to watch. That was absolutely hard to watch. Here's the thing. They said he had 5 warrants. 5 warrants. So if he had so many warrants, why didn't they say what any of the warrants were for? 5 warrants sounds excessive, especially for someone in that man's condition. He clearly had mental health problems and sounded like he may have been drunk. I don't know. Maybe he was talking like that because he has mental health issues or whatever. But clearly he was not in his right frame of mind. That just all, was just too much. They were doing the absolute most. And then they say he had 5 warrants, but never said what any of the warrants were for. If you can tell him he has all these warrants, why not say what at least one of the warrants is for? So anyway, goes on to say, we know for a fact that he tasered Mr. Grant 4 times. That's what Holloway said at a press conference. He wrote a report and he said that Mr. Grant was resisting with violence. I want you all to pay attention. You see how he lied on the man? He said he was resisting with violence. What was he doing that was violent? I mean, he wouldn't put his arms behind his back, right? He wasn't cooperating to that aspect. But what was he doing that was violent? Was he biting, kicking, scratching, spitting? He wasn't doing any of those things. So I don't see where the violence was. That's just the lies and BS. Now, Holloway said that Cavender acted improperly as he immediately went to use his taser rather than trying to de-escalate the situation. Well, that's what they always do with Black people, 9 times out of 10. He says, I think I looked at the video over 20 times. That's what Chief Holloway said. Today, I still cannot explain to you why the officer went to his taser. We train officers every year. Everybody at this police department is trained on de-escalation. Well, clearly that's not what that officer chose that day. The chief said the police department policy is to review every use of force incident report and that Cavender's supervisor had forwarded the materials for an internal investigation. They say the victim didn't complain. The people at the scene didn't complain. It was the supervisor, Holloway said. I want to commend my supervisor for seeing something wrong and taking care of it. Officers said that there will likely not be charges brought against Cavander, as there was no clear evidence of intent. So they know, excuse me, they know the police officer tasered this man 4 times, right? And he's been fired, but there's not going to be any criminal charges. A lot of good that's going to do. Fired, he can just go down the street and get another job at the next precinct, but no criminal charges. Now, because they don't know the intent, there's no evidence of intent. When is there ever when a police officer does something nefarious? Excuse me, Holloway said that the charge against Grant was reduced to resist an arrest without violence, and that he is still in custody for his 5 active warrants. That's just clearly crazy to me. Original copper American Sun Energy said call and complain. Right. A Turian Princess said fired is just a vacation for those fools. Yes. Absolutely. They committed high treason and terrorized the human, says Rashid. This is the very reason of why cops are getting shot down in the streets, says dark-skinned brother too. Wokeman said, why can't they call an EMT if they weren't equipped to deal with the disabled? Right. I mean, you don't think they could tell that man had mental health issues? You don't think they could tell, because he clearly had mental health issues. I'm just saying, how could they not have recognized that? So, and dealt with him accordingly, as opposed to violence and tasering him and all of that stuff. Just being so hostile and overly aggressive. That's just real crazy. And at the end of the day, dark-skinned brother too, that's not the reason they're getting shot down. They're getting shot down because of white people, white men specifically, who they allow or afford too many opportunities or give them too much benefit of the doubts. And then those people end up pulling out a gun and shooting them, like the video footage that I showed you the other day. That's why that's happening. That's why that's happening. You know, the people who they claim to be so fearful of, which is black people, are not the ones out here disproportionately killing them in all of this. It's the people who they give all these benefits and privileges to, the people who they sit there and talk and negotiate with, rather than arresting them or brutalizing them like they do black people. That's just all so crazy. So anyway, these police don't give a damn about us. No, they absolutely don't, Terry Henry. Dark-skinned brother says, yes, you're right, Queen. That's what I meant to say, love. Yes, I knew what you meant, beloved. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Vince I am said that's their karma, as people are always protecting or taking them out. Let me tell you something. This is all so sad. And the fact that they lied on the man and said he was resisting with violence. You see, they had to put that element in there. The officer who wrote the report did, Cavander, he had to put the element of violence in there. That was to try to substantiate the fact that he tasered that man 4 times, because that was excessive force. So he had to try to explain away that. So what better way than to act as though the man was being violent, which clearly he wasn't. Just lies. And how could you be so heartless, you know, have such a lack of empathy or sympathy that you feel nothing when you treat people that way, especially someone who's disabled and clearly suffering from mental health issues and probably drunk at the end of the day as well, because he clearly sounded drunk to me. So that's just all so sad. Christopher says, you have to keep on doing real black media work. Thank you, beloved. So Robert says, cowardly. Absolutely. Okay. And Torian Princess says, as you say, Queen, the complexion for the protection. Absolutely. So that's just all nefarious. Like I said, the cop got fired. That's not good enough for me. He should have been charged. He tasered that man 4 times for no good reason. No good reason. Even though the man wasn't complying, the man wasn't fighting, kicking, scratching, biting, any of those things, spitting on them. He wasn't doing any of those nefarious things. So why would they handle him like that, other than just out of being blatantly low down, right? And racist. Woka says, then the Popo wonder why we have an image problem, or wonder why they have an image problem. Yes, they wonder why they have an image problem. Absolutely. Otis says, remember the 3 police on camera saying they can't wait for a race war? Yes, I remember that. I remember the other police who was also on video saying that they wanted to go out and slaughter black people. Remember that? So it's a lot of things they've said. And let's not forget the other cop who was recorded saying that basically he purposely harasses and arrests Black people and gives them felonies so you can't carry a gun and so they can't vote. I mean, they have all these nefarious reasons for why they do the dirt that they do. And it's really just sad that nothing's being done about it. With that all being said, everyone please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Click the notification bell. Bangani said they have been doing that for 5 centuries, doing the same for 5 centuries. Absolutely, beloved. They absolutely have. Just so egregious. So everyone please like and share. I hope to see you in the next chat starting at 10 o'clock in the next 4 minutes on the original channel. More information on the federal hate crime case for the thugs who killed Ahmaud Arbery. So that's what we're going to be talking about next. Okay, so thank you all for tuning in, and I hope to see you on the next chats. Peace.